Alright, it says we're live, but let me just refresh the screen here. It's being a little weird. Connect your... What? Okay, we are live. Okay. What's going on, guys? It is Friday night. It is cold outside, and hang on, I need to plug in my computer because it's going to run out of battery. Give me a second. Alright, there we go. Okay. Now we are live, and I will pull up my notes. Let's recap the divisional, or sorry, the wild card round. I didn't do that great. Rams, Panthers, I said Rams, they won. The Panthers did cover, but I said Rams money line just to be safe. Packers, Bears, I missed on this one, so that's an L. Bills, Jags, I didn't really make a pick for this game. I still think the Bills have a good riddle to appear in the Super Bowl. We'll talk about that later. But I was favoring the Jags, but I wasn't confident enough to make a pick for this game. Felt it was too tight. 49ers, Eagles, this one was a whiff as well. I thought the Eagles would get to 12-6 in honor of Kobe, but that did not happen. Instead, Brock Purdy got his 35th win. Revelation equals 149 to 35th prime. Of course, Philadelphia is in the story of Revelation. Chargers, Patriots. I said Patriots, and they won. And this one was the easiest of all of them. I said, the one that stood out the most is C.J. Stroud getting his 31st win over the Steelers to advance to Foxborough. Come on, that was too easy. Improving to 3-2 in the playoffs. Houston equals 32. I don't know why some people had Steelers to cover. This one was Texans all the way. Texans ended up winning. Tomlin finished his career on 201 wins. Actually, if you go and watch my live stream that I did last week, I mentioned, he's probably going to finish his career on 201 wins, and he resigned the other day. So that's that. Okay, on to tomorrow's game. You know that I did a video last month talking about how I like the Bills to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl, but their road might end here. They're 6-3 on the road this season. Denver Broncos equals 64. The 23 can go either way because they're 22-22 all time in the playoffs. However, they could fall to 8-6 against Denver on the road all time. Broncos and Denver CO both equal 86. Jesuits also equals 86. What else? McDermott got his 106th win as a coach last time, but is he gonna stay on 106 to finish, or will he keep going? We'll see. On the Broncos side, they can improve to 20-9 at home in the playoffs. 209 is the 68th semi-prime, and Denver equals 68. They can improve to 6-8 all time at home against Buffalo, and Denver equals 68. So the 86 and 68 can go in favor of the Broncos for the home record against the Bills all time. Sean Payton comes into this game with 117 losses. Is he going to stay on that? He can improve to 8-3 at home in the playoffs. That includes his time with the Saints. We know they like Colorado in 83. This game, they're not called the Colorado Broncos, but they're the only team in Colorado, so you get the point. And Peyton on 32 wins as Broncos head coach. Remember the last time the Broncos won the Super Bowl, which was the last time the Super Bowl was in Santa Clara, they improved to 3-5 in Super Bowls. Catholic equals 35. This is the 106th season. 106 to the 35th semi-prime. Is he going to get to 35 wins with the Broncos? Also, if he wins 2, he'll get to 34, like how the last Super Bowl the Broncos were in against the Panthers. They won with 34 total points. Remember, the Jesuits were founded in 1534 in opposition to the 95 Theses, when 95 was the 34th semi-prime. We'll see. So as of right now, I'm picking Broncos. If you have a future on the Bills, it might be a good idea to pick the Broncos for this game. 49ers, Seahawks. If the 49ers win, they'll become 9-2 on the road for the season, which is interesting because Seattle Seahawks equals 92. But 25 hits well in Seattle. They can get their 25th all-time playoff loss. Or they could get their 25th all-time win against Seattle in Seattle. But they can also get their 33rd all-time loss against them. So that one can go either way. I mentioned earlier it's the 106th NFL season, the 35th semi-prime. Brock Purdy comes into this game with 35 career wins. 169 is a big number that hits with the Seahawks. It hits with Seattle in general, and Purdy can fall to 16-9 on the road for his career. Give me a second. I want to pull up something. Give me a second here. Okay, I'm going to switch screens here. Okay, so you can see this. You see the Packers are 16 and this is something I found out the other day. It doesn't matter anymore because the Packers are eliminated. But look at this: the Packers are 16-9 against the Seahawks all time. So let's just pull up Gematria here. Seattle Seahawks 169. You see that right there? 169. Packers are 16-9 in the last game. They won with 43 total points. Seattle Seahawks 43, and want to become 16-9 against them. Like, what? How do you do that? I mean, it's that scripted. But here's the importance of 169. 169 is the 56th semi-prime, as you see right here. 56th semi-prime is 169. We know that Seattle WA is 56. You see right there. I think, does Mariners also have a 56 connection? Yeah, Mariners is 56. That's the other team in Seattle. The Mariners and the Seahawks used to both play in the Kingdome. Here's the Kingdome. Oh, I didn't even notice the Kingdome's address was 201. Oh, that's so interesting. Well, it's not really that interesting. We know at this point it's... But anyways, look at the date it was demolished. Demolished, March 26th. That day is written 2626/3. 263 is the 56th prime. Just like Society of Jesus. You guys probably already know that, but just to show it anyways. Society of Jesus 56. And anyways, from that day, I should say, from the 1-year anniversary of the demolishment of the Kingdome until 9/11, well, it was 169 days, and we know that 169 is huge. We know that 56 is huge with 9/11, and we know that Seattle and 9/11 have a big connection as well. So, 169 is a huge number with Seattle. And it wouldn't surprise me one bit if Brock Purdy fell to 16-9 on the road. Oh, and Lumen Field's also 169, the stadium. Although Shanahan could get his 92nd win overall. We'll see. Yeah, but 169 is huge with Seattle. And 19 is also huge with Seattle. Remember the, what was it? The Tigers and Mariners series in the playoffs just a few months ago when Seattle won that game 5. I believe they got their, they finished that series with 19 runs. I think they got outscored 20-19, but the game-winning run was their 19th run of the season, of the series. My bad. Yeah, and Sam Darnold got his 49th career win against the 49ers. Now he can get his 50th career win against San Francisco. How about that? He got his 49th win of his career at the last game of the regular season over the 49ers, and now he can get his 50th win against San Francisco, the same team. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I mean, 49ers have some narratives, but no, we're going with Seahawks in this game. Texans and Patriots. This one is kind of tight. I'll say that. CJ Stroud. I'll talk about the Texans do have a very interesting riddle to get to the Super Bowl. I'll talk about that in a bit, but the Texans' riddle to win this game. I mean, the most obvious one is that they can lose. They'll fall to 7-9 in the playoffs. Texans equals 79. But there are some narratives against the Patriots. Like, for example, although the Patriots can improve to 8-3 at home, Texans equal 83, and get their 23rd loss. Texans 83 to 23rd prime. And last week, Mike Vrabel, he was 2-3 all time in the playoffs. And then he won to become 3-3. We scroll up here. You'll see, yeah, so he was 2-3 in the playoffs, and he beat the Chargers, which goes 137 to 33rd prime, to become 3-3 in the playoffs. So is the playoff record gonna go against him this time? Like even though the narrative was for him last time, is it gonna go against him this time? We'll see. I think last time I checked let's see, do I still have it up? Okay, as of right now, Patriots are a 3-point favorite. So I mean, if you feel confident, maybe you can pick the Texans to cover, but if you want to be safe, just take Patriots money line. Okay, and then last one, Rams and Bears. This is another interesting one. Rams improving to 29-29 all time in the playoffs makes sense. But this is another one where the Bears were the home underdog. We know 18 was big with Caleb Williams. They had an 18-point comeback. So now he's going to get to 18-18 all time. When Bears equal to 18, he wears number 18. I mean, they had more riddles to win last week, and I doubted them. And yeah, the Rams, how many point favorite are they? The Rams are a 4.5-point favorite. I think you can take the Bears to cover in this one. Yeah, this will be the last game on Sunday. Okay. Now, some college basketball ones. So I've already covered these last week. Denver, North Dakota. That would be Broncos versus Seahawks. So Denver Broncos. North Dakota is the Fighting Hawks. Their logo is green, like the Seahawks. Well, the Seahawks logo is kind of green, but you get the point. Santa Clara, Washington State. Santa Clara Broncos versus a team from Washington. Now, Washington State is on the other side of the state compared to Seattle, but it's the same state. So that would be another Broncos versus Seahawks foreshadow potentially. St. Joseph's Hawks versus George Mason. St. Joe's is in Philadelphia, so I thought maybe that could have been a riddle for Eagles, but against the Hawks, against the Patriots, Seahawks Patriots maybe. Baylor, Iowa State. Baylor's in Texas. It's probably about a 2 or 3 hour drive from Houston. And Iowa State's where Brock Purdy went to school. So it could be Texans Patriots. And this last one here, Texans Patriots, what I'm saying, Texans 49ers. And then this last one here, Tarleton State, they're the Texans, and they're playing the Southern Utah Thunderbirds. So it's like Texans and Birds, Texans and Seahawks maybe. Okay, so yeah, Seattle's obviously still alive, Buffalo's still alive. Aaron Rodgers is no longer alive, so we can cross that out, and his former team is out. I already talked about the O.J. Simpson connections and where did I talk about Marshawn Lynch? Yeah, Marshawn Lynch. I talked about that already, the 214 stuff. I already talked about the Don Hasselbeck stuff. I've already talked about this. But there's one more thing that I do want to talk about. Something that I did a live stream a few months ago talking about how this Super Bowl could connect to the 106th World Series. Give me a second. I want to pull up something. Okay, I'm going to switch tabs. in just a second. Okay. Here, so the 2010 World Series. This was between San Francisco and Texas, and this was the 106th World Series. And now we're in the 106th NFL season, and the Super Bowl is being played at the home of San Francisco. So, anyways, what happened here is the Giants won the World Series for the first time in 56 years, like how this Super Bowl will be the 56th of the modern era. And there were 41, if I remember, there were 41 total runs scored. Yeah, so they won the series 4-1, and there were 41 total runs scored. Then just 3 months later, I believe it was, 3 months and 5 days later, like Catholic equals 35. You had the Super Bowl right down the street in Arlington, and the Packers won to become 4-1 in Super Bowls, and they won that with 56 total points. So you have a 41 and 56 here. The Giants win the World Series 4-1 with 41 total runs to win the World Series for the first time in 56 years. And then right down the street, the Packers, 3 months later, become 4-1 in Super Bowls by winning with 56 total points. And I thought that was interesting because now we're in the 106th NFL season, and I thought that, maybe we'll see, because this game was in Arlington, maybe we'll see the Cowboys in the Super Bowl, maybe we'll see Aaron Rodgers back in the Super Bowl, maybe we'll see the Packers back in the Super Bowl. But something that got me, let's see, do I still have stat? Yeah, I still have StatMuse up. Let's look at, what was it? SF Giants playoff record from 1958 to 2010. Yeah, so when the Giants won the World Series, they got their 34th total playoff win, like how the Jesuits were founded in 1534. And then remember when the Rangers won the World Series the other year, they got their 34th ever playoff win. And Bruce Bochy was the manager on both teams. I've already done a video on that. You can learn about that later. But anyways, back to here. So if we scroll up, let's go to CJ Stroud. So CJ Stroud, if the Texans do win the Super Bowl, CJ Stroud, assuming he doesn't get injured or anything, he'll get his 34th career win. And if it is, if the Texans do make the Super Bowl, I would imagine it would be against the 49ers. It would be Texas versus San Francisco in the 106th NFL season, like how the 106th World Series was Texas versus San Francisco. We'll see. What would their playoff record be? They'd be 8-8, they'd be 9-8, and then 10-8. Or if they lost, they'd be 9-9, like how California was founded on 9/9. Stroud's 32nd career win will definitely be notable at some point because Houston equals 32. The Texans are the 32nd NFL franchise. Lone Star equals 32. They've got the Lone Star on their helmet. So Stroud's 32nd win, whether it comes on Sunday or whether it comes next season, that will be it will be symbolic. And that doesn't mean it has to happen tomorrow or Sunday, but it'll happen at some point. Anyways, on the 49ers side, what would their... You get to 4-1. They get their 41st playoff win, and then 60 is the 42nd composite number. So if they won 3 in a row, then they'd get their 42nd ever playoff win over a black quarterback, or against a black quarterback, I should say. Purdy would get his 38th. I'd have to think about that some more. That narrative has some legs, but I still think. In my opinion, I think it's still it's either going to be Seahawks Bills or Seahawks Broncos. Those are still my top 2 picks. And yeah, and that's right. And if it was, I forgot to mention, if it was Texans versus 49ers, it would be 5 versus 6, like how in that 2010 World Series, it was the Giants' first World Series title in 56 years. And this is the 56th Super Bowl of the modern era. So there's something to that. The Yeah, I mean Baylor, Iowa State. I mean Baylor, it's not Houston, but it is the same state and it's within driving distance. Um, yeah, but I think that Denver, North Dakota, especially if it is Broncos versus Seahawks. I mean, there's two games that could signal Broncos Seahawks. I don't really see any games that. I mean, Wyoming plays Utah State. That would have been Jordan Love versus Josh Allen. Obviously, Jordan Love's now out, but so we'll see about. Ah, it's still kind of tough, but yeah, I mean, I know the Seahawks are obviously the favorite because they're the one seed, but I still think they do have the best riddle in the NFC to make the Super Bowl. The AFC is a little bit more wide open. The Bills still have a great narrative because um, Josh Allen can get to 10-6 in the playoffs, entering the Super Bowl to finish the 106th NFL season. But even if it was Seahawks Broncos, that would that would still have an OJ and Marshawn Lynch connection, even if the Bills were out, because Marshawn Lynch won his only Super Bowl against the Broncos, and of course OJ Simpson has the Bronco incident. So even if the Bills aren't there, and if it's the Broncos instead, there would still be some symbolism or some connection to them. But anyways, that's all I've got, and yeah, we'll catch you guys next. Well, actually, I do want to. I guess I should. Maybe I can. I guess I can talk about this now. There are a couple things that I do want to talk about. Oh, was this the right? Yeah. Okay, yeah, so this the other day. I think it was yesterday, actually. Yeah, it was yesterday. We had. Nope, that's not the right one. You know how I've done videos in the past on the Sharks and the Capitals and number 32, because there's 32 sunrays on the Jesuit logo. And Alex Ovechkin has so many 32s with his career. He scored his first ever goal, or first ever two goals in a 3-2 victory. Won his only Stanley Cup at age 32. His first win of that Stanley Cup Finals was by the score of 3-2. I think the first win in those playoffs was by the score of 3-2 as well. And the Sharks, San Jose was founded on the date. Let's just look at this. San Jose. Go to the Wikipedia page here. It'll tell us that it was founded on November 29th, which is the day leaving 32 days left in the year. But yeah, and they both made the Stanley Cup final for the first time, both franchises in their 24th season, like how the Sharks got to 24 wins and the Capitals stayed on 24 wins. And remember, the sun. Remember, the Jesuit logo is a sun. The sun is 24. The sun's also 87, like how Highway 87 runs through San Jose. And it literally runs a couple blocks away from the arena. I think, was it San Jose CA? San Jose CA is 87. National Hockey League is 87, if I could spell it correctly. Yeah, I remember Sidney Crosby and Alex Ovechkin both made their debuts on October 5th, which is the day leaving 87 days left in the year. Yeah, what else? Yeah, I think also the only time the Sharks made the Stanley Cup final, their first game was a 3-2 loss. and then their first win was a 3-2 win. And remember, the Sharks also moved to San Jose in 93. 93 is the 32nd semi-prime, as you see right there. Again, 32 Sunrays on the Jesuit logo. Yeah, and Alex Ovechkin even said once that the Sharks were his favorite team growing up. So, yeah, not a surprise. 32s all around. No one's in the chat, but that's fine. I've said what I need to say about the playoffs. We'll talk about the Sharks more later. Let's talk about hockey more later. But